Can you imagine monkeys swinging in Estonia? What about lions roaring in the forests, or tigers padding through the snow? It sounds like a dream, but in our story, it's 2025 and something amazing has happened. A playful group of monkeys, a mighty lion and a sleek tiger have arrived in Estonia, for sure. They are ready for an adventure. The people of Estonia woke up to quite a surprise. Mickey the monkey was the first to explore the beautiful city of Tallinn, Estonia. With his bright eyes sparkling with curiosity, he scampered out into the crisp morning air, eager to see what adventures awaited him in this new and fascinating place. The city was waking up and Mickey could hear the distant sounds of tree to tree in Kadriorg Park, one of Tallinn's most beautiful green spaces. The park was filled with tall leafy trees, colorful flowers, and winding paths. Mickey loved the feeling of the cool breeze ruffling his fur as he leapt from branch to branch, sometimes pausing to watch joggers and families enjoying the park below. He even spotted a pond with ducks gliding across the water, and he giggled as he tried to mimic their waddling walk. As he made his way closer to the heart of the city, Mickey chattered with excitement when he saw the colorful houses of Tallinn's Old Town. The buildings looked like they belonged in a fairy tale, with their red-tiled roofs, pastel walls, and ornate doors. Mickey paused to admire the cobblestone streets and the old-fashioned lanterns that lined the sidewalks. He imagined what it must have been like to live here hundreds of years ago, and he felt like a little explorer discovering a hidden treasure. Mickey's playful side soon took over. He couldn't resist sneaking up behind a group of tourists and trying to grab a hat from a surprised visitor. The tourist laughed and Mickey did a little dance, delighted by the attention. People stopped to take photos of the cheeky monkey, and Mickey loved being the center of attention, making new friends everywhere he went. Next, Mickey discovered the ancient city walls that surrounded Old Town. He loved climbing on the old, sturdy stones, imagining he was a brave knight defending the city from dragons. From the top, he could see the rooftops stretching out in every direction, and he felt like the king of Tallinn for a moment. The view was breathtaking, and Mickey took a deep breath, enjoying the fresh air and the sense of adventure. As he wandered through the narrow streets, Mickey peeked into windows, hoping to find some delicious Estonian pastries. The sweet smell of fresh bread and cakes drifted out from a nearby bakery, making his tummy rumble. He pressed his nose against the glass, watching as bakers arranged trays of golden pastries and dark, hearty bread. Mickey's mouth watered, and he wished he could try every treat in the shop. He soon learned that Estonians loved their black bread and sweet treats. Curious, Mickey watched as people enjoyed slices of rye bread with butter and jam, and he saw children munching on cinnamon rolls and honey cakes. The bakery owner even waved at Mickey, offering him a tiny piece of pastry, which he accepted with a grateful grin. It was delicious, and Mickey decided that Estonian food was definitely worth exploring. But the best part of Mickey's day was still to come. He made his way to the famous Tallinn Zoo, a place filled with animals from all over the world. The entrance was grand, and Mickey's heart raced with excitement as he imagined meeting new animal friends and learning about creatures he had never seen before. Inside the zoo, Mickey was thrilled to find a group of monkeys just like him. They played together, swinging from ropes and chasing each other around the enclosure. Mickey felt right at home, laughing and sharing stories with his new friends. It was wonderful to be surrounded by others who understood his playful spirit. The other monkeys, along with some friendly children visiting the zoo, even taught Mickey a few Estonian words. He learned to say "ter," which means hello, and "aita," which means thank you. Mickey practiced his new words, repeating them with a big smile, and everyone cheered when he got them right. He felt proud to be learning the local language and making new friends at the same time. As the sun began to set over Tallinn, Mickey realized that even though Estonia was different from his home, it was full of friendly faces, delicious food, and exciting discoveries. He felt grateful for the adventures he'd had and the friends he'd made. With a happy heart, Mickey looked forward to exploring even more of this wonderful city tomorrow. Leo the lion had always called the golden savannas of Africa his home. But one day, after a long journey, he found himself in a place unlike any he had ever seen before. A deep, mysterious forest filled with towering trees and a cool mist that hung in the air. Leo was not so sure about this new place. Everything felt unfamiliar, and he moved slowly, his eyes wide with curiosity and a hint of worry. He missed the wide-open savannas of Africa, where the grass stretched as far as the eye could see, and the sky was always a brilliant blue. The savanna was a place of warmth and sunlight, where Leo could run freely and feel the soft earth beneath his paws. He missed the warm sun on his back and the sound of zebras braying in the distance. The playful calls of the zebras and the gentle rustle of the grass were the music of his childhood. Sometimes he would close his eyes and imagine the familiar sights and sounds, hoping to feel a little less alone. Now Leo wandered into Lain National Park, a vast and ancient forest in Estonia. The trees here were so tall they seemed to touch the sky, and the ground was soft with moss and fallen needles. Leo hoped to find some peace and quiet, but the silence felt different from the savanna. It was deeper, almost magical, and filled with secrets. The tall pine trees reminded him a little of home, but the air was much colder and carried the scent of pine and earth instead of sun-baked grass. Leo shivered as a cool breeze ruffled his mane, and he wondered if he would ever get used to this strange new world. Feeling brave, Leo let out a mighty roar, hoping that maybe, just maybe, another lion would answer him. His roar echoed through the trees, bouncing off trunks and disappearing into the mist. For a moment the forest seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. But only the sound of birds fluttering overhead and the gentle rustling of leaves answered him. The forest was alive with its own quiet music, chirping birds, the whisper of the wind, and the soft crunch of twigs underfoot. Leo realized that he was truly alone here, surrounded by creatures he did not know. He felt lonely and a little scared. The forest was beautiful, but it was also strange and full of shadows. Leo missed his family and friends, and he wondered if he would ever find someone to talk to or a place to belong in this new land. Just when Leo started to feel truly sad, he heard footsteps approaching. Out of the mist came a kind Estonian farmer, who was just as surprised to see a lion in the forest as Leo was to see a human. The farmer didn't run away. Instead, he smiled gently and spoke in a soft voice, offering his hand in friendship. The farmer led Leo to his cozy barn, where it was warm and safe. He poured some fresh, warm milk into a bowl and set it down for Leo, who gratefully lapped it up. The barn was filled with the comforting smell of hay, and for the first time since arriving in the forest, Leo felt a little less alone. As the days passed, Leo and the farmer became friends. They explored the countryside together, and Leo learned that even in a strange land, kindness could be found in the most unexpected places. With a new friend by his side, Leo realized that adventure and friendship could make any place feel like home. Tanya the tiger had never seen snow before. For as long as she could remember, her world had been filled with the deep greens and golden sunlight of the Asian jungle. The air there was always warm and heavy with the scent of blooming flowers and the calls of distant birds. But now, everything was different. Rolled into a magical wonderland. Tanya blinked in amazement, her breath making little clouds in the chilly air. She had heard stories from migrating birds about lands where the ground turned cold and white, but she never thought she would see it for herself. She cautiously stepped onto the snow in Lain National Park. Each step was careful and slow, her big paws sinking into the soft, cold surface. The snow felt strange and unfamiliar, and Tanya hesitated, unsure if it was safe to walk on, but her curiosity was stronger than her fear. It was cold and crunchy under her paws. The sensation sent a shiver up her legs, but it also made her giggle in her own tiger way. She pressed her paw down harder, watching as the snow compacted and left a perfect print behind. Tanya sniffed at the snow, her whiskers twitching, and even tried to taste a little with her tongue. It melted instantly, leaving a cool, refreshing feeling. She shook her head, sending snowflakes flying in all directions. The flakes landed on her nose and ears, making her look even more playful. Tanya pounced and rolled, discovering that snow could be fun. She batted at the falling flakes, chasing them as they drifted through the air. For a moment she forgot how different everything was and just enjoyed the newness of it all. Didn't want to scare anyone. Tanya understood that she was a wild animal and people might be afraid if she got too close. So she kept her distance, her golden eyes gentle and calm, content to be a quiet observer. She hoped that one day, the children would see her as a friend, not a threat. As the sun began to set, painting the snowy landscape in shades of pink and orange, the world seemed to slow down. The snow glowed softly in the fading light and the air grew even colder. Tanya sat still, taking in the beauty all around her. The sky was a canvas of colors she had never seen before, and the quiet of the evening made everything feel peaceful and safe. Snowy new world. Mickey, Leo, and Tanya quickly learned that Estonia was a land of contrasts. It had modern cities and ancient forests. It had long, sunny days in the summer and short, snowy days in the winter. They tasted strange and delicious new foods like black bread, sauerkraut, and kama. They learned that Estonians love to sing and dance, especially during their traditional festivals, their kindness and respect. Even though they were having fun, Mickey, Leo, and Tanya couldn't help but miss their homes. Mickey missed swinging through the rainforest canopy. Leo missed the warmth of the African sun, and Tanya, well, she missed the smell of rain in the jungle. They realized that they were different from the animals in Estonia. They looked different, sounded different, and ate different foods. Pretty soon they started to feel like they didn't belong. One day they met a wise old owl in a forest. The owl listened patiently to their worries. Then, the owl said, "Being different is not a bad thing. It makes you special. You can learn from each other and appreciate the beauty of diversity." The owl told them about the amazing animals that lived in Estonia. There were brown bears roaming the forests, wolves howling at the moon, and lynx with their tufted ears. The owl explained that Estonia had many different habitats, from bogs and mires to forests and coastlines. Each habitat was home to unique plants and animals that had adapted to live there. Mickey, Leo, and Tanya realized that Estonia's wildlife was just as fascinating as the animals from their own homes. They learned to appreciate the delicate balance of nature and the importance of protecting all living things. The animals knew it was time to go home. They missed their families and their natural habitats. They had learned so much during their time in Estonia, but they knew they belonged in their own environments. Bye to their new friends, promising to never forget their adventures in this beautiful country. Mickey, Leo, and Tanya realized that even though they were going back to their own homes, they could still care about animals all over the world. They could protect their habitats, support conservation efforts. The story of Mickey, Leo, and Tanya is a reminder that our world is full of amazing creatures. All be wildlife heroes. So the next time you see a bird singing in a tree, a squirrel scampering through the park, or even a spider spinning its web, remember that every creature plays an important role.